Hello students, I am Anju Mathur of Raval Convent School. Today I am going to explain the lesson The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. The Portrait of a Lady gives us a picture of human relationship in a joint family. It is a realistic account of how the grandparents give all their time, attention and love to the grandchildren. The author's description about his grandmother is deeply moving with the touch of humor and poetry in it. Before starting the lesson, let's learn something about the writer Khushwant Singh. Khushwant Singh, one of the best known Indian writers of all times, was born in 1950 in Hadli. He was educated at the Government College, Lahore, and at the King's College, Cambridge University, and the Inner Temple in London. He practiced law at the Lahore High Court for several years before joining the Indian Ministry of External Affairs in 1947. He began a distinguished career as a journalist with All India Radio in 1951. Since then, he has been founder editor of Yojana, editor of the Illustrated Weekly of India, chief editor of New Delhi, and editor of Hindustan Times. His Saturday column, with malice towards one and all, in the Hindustan Times is by far one of the most popular columns of the day. Khushwant Singh was a member of Rajya Sabha from 1980 to 1986. Among other honours, he was awarded the Padma Bhushan in 1974 by the President of India. He returned the decoration in 1984 in protest against the Union government seize of the Golden Temples in Amritsar. Khushwant Singh died of cardiac arrest on 20th March 2014 at his Delhi-based residence at the age of 99. During his lifetime, Khushwant Singh was keen on burial because he believed that with a burial you give back to the earth what you have taken. Let's start the summary. The main characters in the lesson are narrator or author and the grandmother. The author's grandmother was an old woman. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles. She was fat, short and slightly bent. Her silvery white hair used to spread out on her wrinkled face. She hobbled about the house in spotless white clothes with one hand resting on her fist to balance her stoop and the other telling the beads of the rosary. Her lips constantly moved in silent prayer. For 20 years, the author had seen no change in her looks and behavior. She was an extremely religious person. He finds it difficult to conceptualize that once she too was young and pretty like other women. The stories about her childhood games were like fairy tales to him. The narrator and his grandmother were good friends. His parents had left him with her in the village. They were always together there. She used to wake him up in the morning and get him ready for the school, pack his bags, prepare his breakfast and accompany him to the school. They fed street dogs with stale chapatis on their way to school, which was a great fun for them. She helped him in his lessons also. The turning point came in their relationship when the narrator came to city to stay with his parents. Now she could not go with him to the school. In spite of her immense interest in his studies, she could not help him in his lessons as he was learning English, laws of gravity and many more such things which she could not understand, and this made her distressed. Another thing which disquieted her much was that the kids were not learning about God and scriptures in the school. Instead, they were given music lessons. To her, music was not meant for gentlefolk. It was meant for the beggars, and she was dismayed and withdrew herself to some level. After finishing school, the narrator went to university. He was given a separate room. The common link of their friendship was snapped. His grandmother confined herself to a self-imposed She spent most of her time in reciting prayers and by sitting beside her spinning wheel. She rarely talked to anyone. The only diversion for her was in the afternoon, when she relaxed for a while to feed the sparrows. In village, she used to feed street dogs. Here in city, she fed the sparrows, and the two became very friendly with her. Feeding the sparrows was the happiest half hour of the day for her. After completing his university education, he decided to go abroad for higher studies. His grandmother came to see off at the railway station. She was quite calm, busy in telling the beads of her rosary and reciting prayers as ever. When he came back after 5 years, he found her more and more religious and more self possessed. She spent even more time in prayers and spinning the wheel. Feeding the birds was her only happy pursuit. But just the day before her death, for the first time, she broke his routine and abandoned her prayers. That day, she sang the songs of the homecoming warriors with the women of neighborhood to celebrate her grandson's return from abroad. Next morning, she was taken ill. The doctor said it was a mild fever and would go back, but she took it differently. She declared her end was near. She did not want to waste any more time talking to anybody. She lay peacefully in the bed, praying and telling the beads till her lips stopped moving and rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. In the evening, thousands of sparrows flew in to mourn her death and sat scattered around her body in complete silence. They even disregarded the breadcrumbs thrown to them by the narrator's mother. When they carried her body outside, the sparrows flew away quietly. Hope it was informative. Thank you for your attention.